feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank. When it take a swim, only option is to win.
Welcome to the post-show wrap-up of the Houston Shrimp Tank Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Goodwin, and joining me today, we had Dr. John Newbold. He's with the College of Business at Sam Houston State University. My special co-host also in studio today, Babette Switzer. Babette, thank you for coming alongside us and doing the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and Dr. John, it was great having you on the show. Today was a deep dive about marketing, where street smarts meets book smarts, and we talked about some of the marketing principles from an academic perspective. And then also Babette, right here working at Provident, where the rubber's meeting the road. You're actually involved in many of the marketing processes, strategies, and initiatives. So it was a great show. You're going to want to download a complete replay of the show at houston.shrimptankpodcast.com. Don't forget you'll be able to pick up the show on iTunes. All of our shows now are on iTunes. And so, Babette, let's start with you. We talked a little bit about some of the things, you can't imagine a business being operational today without a website. You hit on the interview about some great things that you should be thinking about. Even if you're hatching this small business out of your back spare bedroom, there's some must-dos that you have to take into consideration with your website. Could you mention some of those, please?
Right. Make sure that your domain name is not already taken, and that would be the name of your company. Make sure that you can get your Facebook page the same way. Make sure that you can have all different kinds of things. Like John said one time, that it was a little bit difficult to start a website because you think that you don't know anything about it. So you can either hire someone if you've got the cash to do that, or if not, you can do it yourself. Just takes a little bit of time, but you can learn it yourself, and it's not that hard.
Yep, and you might be somebody who wants to learn it yourself, but you may still decide to pay a few $100s or maybe a couple $1,000s to get a quality website. We talked about that being your first impression, and what they say, you don't have a second opportunity to make a first impression. One of the things also I remember when we were talking about websites is making sure it's proofed. Right.
Right.
You don't want mistakes and misspelled words. Those misspelled words stands out like a sore thumb. It is your first impression. It should be really good and quality, even if you're a small startup. And Dr. John, we talked about things that are new and exciting in the classroom, from a marketing perspective at the university level. And I was wondering if you could share with our listeners some of the things in the interview we talked about there.
Well, sure. And I was just pointing out that at Sam Houston State, we have in the marketing department, we offer the full range of classes that go from principles to consumer behavior to marketing research to marketing strategy, personal selling, sales management, the full gamut. And what we strive to do is prepare the students for life in the real world by not only exposing them to popular or important theory and book learning, but we really emphasize experiential exercise and getting out in the world. So marketing is very much an application thing. You learn by doing. It's good to know a little bit, and then you learn by doing, because marketing, the environment's always changing. So we have a lot of guest speakers that come in. We have access to a lot of guest speakers. We work with the Small Business Development Center up there in Huntsville to get access to a lot of companies. We do a lot of projects for local companies. So every student who graduates from Sam Houston with a degree in marketing has been involved in group projects for small companies. They participate in simulation games and role-playing activities and personal selling. So we're real big on experiential and getting real-world experience.
I love that. And again, I think this is the podcast show where street smarts meets book smarts, and I love that you come out and you take your time. You're not paid to come on the Shrimp Tank podcast, but you come out and you sit in many of these shows and you listen to these success stories of these local business owners here. We have on some of the best and brightest business owners right in our community. And what we know about success is that it leaves clues.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And I bring a lot of it back into the classroom.
Yeah. So
and we've had some students at the podcast as well.
That's right. So it's exciting. This was an exciting show. I loved devoting the entire show to marketing. And you're going to want to download the complete show at houston.shrimptankpodcast.com. And we are going to see you here live next week on the Shrimp Tank Podcast.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp